From long, long ago. From once upon a time. From long, long ago, far, far away from here, in the clouds beyond the clouds, and the heavens beyond the heavens, there is a place, and that place is called Tirnanog, the land of the ever young. But in order to get into Tirnanog, you would have to give up all your precious memories on Earth. Oh, exactly. Oh. And that's exactly what some of the beings felt. Oh, but I don't want to. They're so dear to me, so dear to my heart. And so these beings were given a great hall filled with wood, you know, that kind of dark wood that smells so good. And in the hall, there were fires everywhere. People would gather round and tell all the stories, sing all the songs of their time on Earth. It was so warming, and there were birds of every colour flying throughout this hall. There was a small brown bird. I've got an idea, he thought. Why don't we take this gift of fire? Why don't we take it down to earth and share it with our brothers and sisters on earth? Because this was a time on earth when there was no fire. The earth was cold. But the people, the beings up in this fancy hall were too drunk on their memories. They didn't really hear him. But the gods were listening. And so came to this little bird the god of youth. Come, bird. Are you the one that would like to take on this mission? Find one as brave and good and kind and wise as you, and give this gift of fire. Well, the little bird looked up, and it was a bit of a scary mission, but of course there was only one word beating in his heart, and that was yes. And that was yes. So the god of youth took out a great stick and touched it in the fire. And then he took this stick and touched it on the tail of the little bird. Tail lit up with the shining, dazzling light of the fire. And all of a sudden, he was tumbling, rolling, falling out of the sky, and no sooner than he realized what was going on, he'd landed on the earth with a great big thump. And the earth smelt wet and familiar. And he looked up at the sky, at the big full moon and the stars, and suddenly Tirnanog and the great hall seemed so far away. Maybe it was all a dream. But the fire in his heart brought him back down to earth, and he remembered that he had a mission. Oh yes. So he flew around, and he flew up to the first man he saw and said, I have a gift. I have a gift for one who is worthy, one who is good and brave and wise and kind. Is it you? The man looked back at him. And before Firetail knew what was happening, the man was stretching out his hands to try and grab him, but he flew away. And he flew around, and he flew around, and he flew up to the next woman that he saw. I have a gift for you, for one who is worthy, one who is brave and good and kind and wise. Is it you? And the woman looked back at him, her eyes bulging wide, her fat fingers stretching out, because when she looked at Firetail, she saw one thing only, and that was dinner. That's exactly how he reacted. He flew away, and he flew up and up and up. Oh, thank goodness there was a friend. The owls, his friends, were there, and they said, you know what you should do? You should call out the larks, call all the plovers, call all the birds, and spread it all around to come and gather and meet, and tell them that there is a very special gift to receive for one who is worthy. And in no time at all, there was a great gathering. Warriors came, hunters came, fools came, magicians came. Everyone gathered before this tiny little brown bird with this shiny bright tail. I have a gift for one who is worthy. Come before us and show us, tell us why you are worthy. So his heart was pumping fast, and the warriors stood in front, stretching their muscles, and the archers stood in front, stretching their bows, and the fools did all of their dances. And the magicians tried to weave their magic. But when lots of people get together and want some kind of power, what do you think happens? They start fighting. Fists, elbows, necks, heads, hair, pull, random punch in the belly, blood, bones, sticking all around, mess, chaos. Ah! The little bird In all the crazy chaos, his wing was wounded and he hobbled over away to a tree and closed his eyes, just wishing he could turn back time. And then something changed. He felt brave enough to open his eyes, and when he did, his instinct, his intuition was right, because right in front of his face was a huge pair of brown eyes and a little freckled nose. And the laughter, which could only belong to a child. Whoa, suddenly he was moving. He was being picked up and taken somewhere. Where was he being taken? Inside. Although there was no fire inside, he felt warm. There was a woman standing there, and she said to her child, "Take this bird, put him in a little box, give him straw, give him water, and soon he'll feel so much better." So that's what the child did. And the mother was right, the woman was right, because very quickly Firetail felt so much better. And he felt safe. And he called out to the woman, "I have a little gift for you, if you are brave, if you are wise and kind." Are you those things? He said. She looked back at him and, brave? Wise? Kind? No, I'm far too busy to be any of those things. And she carried on with her work. But of course, by now, Firetail knew that she was the one that he had been waiting for, and so he called the child and said, "Dear child, please gather some branches, gather some sticks, and help me, help me." And she helped him out of the box, and he dipped his tail into the branches, where they slowly began to crackle and catch and burn, dancing softly, gently, wildly, the light of the very first fire. Imagine what it would have been like to savor and experience the very first fire. whole family gathered, circling around the fire. And they sat there all night, in fact, sharing stories and songs, because the fire had come with all the stories and songs from Tirnonog to remind the people how to be good and brave and wise and kind. They sat there all night, and they would sit there for many, many years to come.